Before we dive in, here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
Hey, psst. Hey, you see that Snickers over there? If no one's looking, you should just take it.
No! Don't listen to him, my son. That would be stealing, and stealing is a sin.
Sin Schmin, it's a friggin' Snickers bar. You deserve to have it. Sinning really satisfies you.
Repent, my child. Virtue is the only real snack worth savoring. For that candy bar is merely a gateway to nougat damnation. Has this ever happened to you?
Listening to the devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other, and you're not sure what to think?
Then we're here to help. I'm Pete Wright.
And I'm Tommy Metz III, and this season on All the Feelings, we're examining the 7 deadly sins.
You know, the fun ones.
And the 7 heavenly virtues.
Which are also a thing. Through personal stories, historical oddities, and way too much embarrassment, we take you on a thrilling journey through all the goods and the bads you hear about in church.
But without all that pesky church stuff. So come join us for All the Feelings Season 9, a sometimes funny podcast about being human. All the sins, all the virtues.
All in one place. Go to allthefeelings.fun to learn more, or subscribe to All the Feelings wherever you get your podcasts.
Game over.
Horror movies get a bad rap. They're cheap thrills, mindless gore, not cinema, blah, blah, blah.
But we here at Sitting in the Dark know better. We know that horror is more than just jump scares and chainsaws. It's a reflection of our deepest fears, our anxieties, Okay, and there's a lot of jump scares and chainsaws.
Join us, Pete Wright, Tommy Metz III, Kyle Olson, and Keenan Diaz, as we cut into the dark heart of horror cinema.
Every episode, we explore a different facet of the genre, from survival horror to home invasions, from zombies to birds. We tickle the tropes, analyze the angles, and sharpen our own axes along the way.
We'll introduce you to the classics that shaped the genre.
Then the modern masterpieces that are pushing the boundaries of terror.
Sitting in the Dark is your guide to navigating the terrifying, thrilling, and sometimes hilariously bad world of horror movies.
We'll help you understand why we love to be scared.
And maybe even convert you into a horror fan yourself.
So turn off the lights, close the basement door,
and join us.
Sitting in the dark.
Thursday, March 29th.
The Dean Cave.
The Winchesters.
Give this bad boy a test run.
Get animated.
You're a cartoon! I'm a cartoon! We're not just mini cartoon. We're in Scooby-Doo.
That's the freaking Scooby Gang.
Dibs on Daphne.
Sounds like this could be the start of a mystery.
Oh no! Jinkies!
Zoinks! Son of a bitch.
If that guy can die for real in this cartoon, that means we can too.
Scooby-Doo could die. And that's not happening. Not on my watch. Take a bullet for that dog.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
They are dumb!
We should be trying to get out of here, and instead you're hanging out with Marmaduke.
How dare you? Oh, Daphne could do so much better.
Supernatural, all new Thursday, March 29th on the CW.
Hello, and welcome to
Gank That Drank,
a supernatural drinking game podcast. My name is Krissy Lens. I am one of your hosts for this evening and one of the directors of the Neighborhood Comedy Theater in downtown Mesa, Arizona. Please join me in welcoming Nate McWhorter.
Hello. I am also a performer and person who teaches and does things at the Neighborhood Comedy Theater in downtown Mesa, Arizona, and a co-host of this here podcast.
Yes, it's the podcast where we watch our favorite episodes of Supernatural. We make up drinking game rules. We play along and recap the episode and review the drinking game rules that we came up with for you.
Yeah.
today,
in our never-ending quest.
It is never ending. There are so many episodes that if we get down to start doing the bad ones, then you'll know that it truly
We'll have
has
to come
been
up
a
with
ride.
specific bad episode drinking rules.
That shouldn't be too hard, actually. I think we could
actually, that'd be
probably
really
do
kind of
that.
fun. We should choose one on purpose.
Choose a bad
one on purpose.
Next, like quote unquote season, we'll do choose your least favorite.
Yes, let's do it. Okay. For one
Be
reason or another.
Lot of deep lore episodes.
Right. All the Myth Arc episodes.
But today,
and Home from X-Files for some reason. Anyway, today, what are we doing today, Krissy?
We're doing ScoobyNatural. Your pick for a possible favorite. We're in this little stretch of episodes. I don't know if it'll end up being this season or
not
what.
just mine, Krissy. Not just my pick as a favorite episode, but the world's pick as a favorite episode, because it has like literally the highest rating on like both the Rotten Tomatoes and the IMDb's, and like all the ratings of any Supernatural episode has the highest rating. So not just me.
So cool because it's one of those things where it's like it like got breathed into being by the fans and the show. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool? And then all of a sudden there was like, well, let's just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Let's put Sam and Dean into Scooby-Doo world and see what hijinks ensue. And hijinks do.
Yes, they do. And it is a perfect marriage of two different shows from two different eras. And I don't think anyone could have drawn up a match made more in heaven or hell or purgatory or alternate universes or anywhere.
Yeah.
As perfect as Scooby-Doo and Supernatural. For many obvious reasons, and the many reasons that I think they did a good job of exploring in the episode too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we get into the recap, or do you have any other preamble?
No. Well, we should recap the drinking game rules.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Yes, the drinking game rules. Are we going to let's just recap what they were? Do you want to say how many times they happened now?
No, let's say that part at the end.
Okay, we'll save that for the end. I've done the show before. Our first drinking game rule was, I believe I called it the Dean moment / face, or the Sammy scowl. Happens. You take a drink.
Okay.
Do you want to do the next one?
It was Zaps and Zoinks.
Zaps and Zoinks. 2 drinks for Zaps. Anytime Zaps are happening. Anytime Dean takes a dig at Fred or hits on Daphne.
Now that was the heavy hitter of the episode.
That is the heavy hitter of the episode.
Take a drink for snacks. Delicious snacks.
Snacking. Simultaneous exclamations. Or like catchphrases, I think I also included in there.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I just counted simultaneous exclaims.
That's a good one. I think I maybe added catchphrases is written in a different colored pen. So my guess is during the episode, I maybe created a rule. The catchphrases should be a rule.
Excellent. Next up was Velma flirts and calls Sam a big lug.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I also had like a second little note of like tries to like, do the Velma thing and like, create reason, like bring reason and logic into stuff. If you're so frightened, that only happens a couple of times. Most of the time it's compared to Sam's shoulders. Ghost.
Now, I was unclear on that one when I was watching. I was like, is it when the ghost appears or just when they say ghost?
I only have it down twice, so my guess is the spoilers. I only have it down as twice, so my guess is when they say ghost is what I played.
Okay, I had 2 ghosts, but I counted all the times that the ghost appears.
All the times the ghost appears, yeah. So I think we're just playing the ghosts, and maybe you can do like a 2 drinks for that since it only happens twice. Spoilers.
Well, I counted 33 drinks total and 3 shots, so
I think that's close to what I have.
You can adjust these rules, of course.
I think for once we're actually like almost spot on.
Oh, really?
I'm looking at my tallies.
Miss so many.
I think I maybe missed some on this one though.
It's easy to get. We'll talk about it later, but yeah,
it is. Especially when you're drinking, which is still fun. Yeah. So then we got Big Lug Shot, Ascot. I think I wrote down, and that's got a lot. So that's fun. Ascot, and then the shots are Barney Bye Bye. Fred. head and bleeps.
That was great. I love the bleep moment.
The bleep is so good.
Okay,
so yeah, those are the rules. It's a hefty list of rules. Again, maybe split some of these up. Maybe pick a couple if you're playing with friends. But at the same time, like I feel like enough of them don't hit all that often that you could maybe get away with doing all these drinks. Maybe
we aim for variety.
Yeah, it's an episode. There's so many fun things. Like, how do you choose which supernatural and which Scooby bits you're gonna do? Right? Like it's a hard choice. I felt like even while watching the episode, obviously I kept coming up with more
and adding them. Yes, of course. So let's get into this episode. ScoobyNatural, take us there, Nate Bakota.
All right, we open with Sam and Dean mid-fight. They're duking it out with this giant green stuffed dinosaur.
It's stuffed.
Yeah, it's stuffed. It's alive. They end up getting it all blown up, and everything seems to be okay. They help out this little he's like a thrift shop owner, right? Pawn shop.
It seems like a pawn shop. Yeah.
Yeah, seems like a pawn shop in Main Street. US. I actually think they do say which town, and I did not write it down. Notice. I usually like to do that, but it seems like it's not in when they do the wide establishing shot, it seems like it's in kind of a bigger city, not necessarily like Main Street of small town. Anyway, unimportant details. Yeah, and so they handle this dinosaur. The guy's like, "Thank you. Take anything you want from my pawn shop." And of course, Dean sees a big old TV.
Which is hilarious because, do they not have TVs in the bunker? I guess they don't.
And then what's the cable sitch? They
How
hook
are
it
they
up.
getting a signal down there?
How are
they can get internet anywhere, so...
We're warded against everything on Earth, but we gotta wait for the Cox guy to come around.
It's the same power that makes them not get concussions every time they get a traumatic brain injury. It's the same power that gets them Wi-Fi and cable.
Right? I want to see the episode of them waiting for the Wi-Fi for the internet guy to show up.
Yeah, I want the episode where Dean is hooked on Love Is Blind season 2 or whatever, because you know that he would love that show.
Yeah, but then I wonder too, how much TV are they actually watching? These guys are always busy. They're out there saving the world and hunting things and saving people. How much time does he actually have to sit and watch TV?
Well, they got to stay up on their pop culture references, though, because that's how they equip with each other.
True. Is this the episode we get a Frozen reference? Or was that a previous episode I'm thinking of? Anyway. Yeah. So they take the TV home. We have the fun little scene where Sam is so incredulous that Dean's taking this TV, whatever. And then Dean sets it up in the man cave, in the Dean cave, back at the bunker.
So cute.
Oh, so good. And they go to turn it on. Dean does the whole 2001 Space Odyssey music himself, and they get zapped. Zaps happen.
Zap.
And sucked into the TV.
Mm-hmm.
The boys look around. They realize they're both two-dimensional. They're both cartoons. And then they look and they see Baby all shining and shimmering. And
which is lucky
Dean's
for them that they got Baby in this universe.
Right. It's almost as if someone's been writing and doing... Anyway, we won't get too much into that. Everything is so explainable in this universe when you end it the way you do. Anyway, sorry, getting off track. Just convenient, yes, that the car is there. It is one thing that you're like, really? Baby's just there.
He had the keys in his pocket.
And yeah. So they get in, the boys ride. We get some cool guitar riffs as they go. They pull up to what else but a malt shop.
Of course.
And how is that not yeah, anyway, it's so interesting. I like the choice of that they're to put the gang at the malt shop and that's where the brothers meet them. I always find that to be an interesting, every time I watch it I'm like, why did they do this? Because of what the actual episode of Scooby-Doo is, which we could get into later.
It makes me think of a Dungeons and Dragons, because that's what always happens at the beginning of the adventure is you start out in the town watering hole. Mm-hmm. And that's where you meet the people who kick you off onto your adventure.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we have. We have they roll into the malt shop, and of course, as soon as they see the mystery machine in the parking lot, Dean is freaking out. just absolutely losing his mind that they're about to meet the Scooby Gang. They get into the malt shop and like just very awkwardly shove their way over to their booth. And of course, the gang is about to get a mystery.
Yay!
They're about to get a mystery because Scooby's been named in a will of some old Colonel Sanders. Oh,
I love how excited that Dean is to be in this world, but I also love how Sam, like, when he points out, like, Dean, there are no words in this newspaper. It's like, oh, I was suspending my disbelief that Sam would be able to read the newspaper, but no,
Right.
there really truly are no words in the
No words.
newspaper.
Yes.
Hilarious. And I love that Sam is such a skeptic and Dean is so enthusiastic.
Yes, and that's a perfect. I love that mechanism they use the whole episode. It's great. It's wonderful. It allows for so many things for like Sam when it comes down to like solving the actual mystery, gets to have his great moments, while Dean gets to just kind of be his like childish self, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's incredible writing. So they get sucked in. I think this is then after they leave them. With the classic scene of them like, okay, we're gonna go off and help you solve this mystery, which the Scooby Gang is a little like, and then they're like, okay, whatever, cool, we'll take the help.
They're really yes-anders. And I love the
are.
explainer too that like wherever town they went to, Scooby Doo was on the TV. Really like hooks you in.
Yeah, then that justification for Dean of like, I love Scooby Doo. Yes, everywhere we went, Scooby was always there. Yeah. So probably one of my favorite scenes is the drag race. It's the Mystery Machine versus Baby, and great job of the writers of the show to like be humble and like say absolutely Baby gets waxed, gets absolutely crushed by the Mystery Machine, and not try to like pump up your own show. Because it was such a good moment, and then we get is this the Fred? This is Fred. Fred! Oh, wonderful. And we get a little shadowy figure, which it turns out to be Castiel. Later on, who we will be revealed. The one thing about this scene, though, as much as I love the drag race, I just want to say, in the original Scooby-Doo episode that this is based on, which is a night. Oh shoot, I had it written down.
A night of fright is no.
A fright is no delight. There we go. A night of fright is no delight. The gang actually takes a boat because this mansion is on like an island.
Love it.
So the whole driving the car to this episode is one thing. If you've gone back and watched it, which I did in prep for this episode, as I went back and watched that episode of Scooby Doo.
Too much preparation for this episode.
Too much prep.
Too much prep.
It's a 22-minute cartoon. It was fine. It was good. I was really glad I watched it because there are some differences that are really funny, but for the most part, ScoobyNatural sticks like to the episode. Yay. Obviously,
including the trap that Fred sets later.
The what?
Trap.
The trap. It is. Oh yes, no. It is like almost. It is very similar. It is like almost identical to the one in the episode. It's really good.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So the gang gets to the mansion, and this is where we kind of get the plot of the original Scooby episode, where it is the family members of the long since or the recently deceased Colonel Sanders. Old Confederate Colonel Sanders. And there's, let's see, the names of the people. There's Cousin Simple is one of them. You have, who again? See, I had this all written down. Cousin Simple.
Something maldehyde.
Oh, yeah. I think it's just Cousin Maldehyde.
Yeah.
And then one other person, but of course the guy that gathers in there is Cosgood Creeps, which is a wonderful name. And he basically, it's like very obvious. This guy's behind it all, like it is in every Scooby episode, right? And of course, I think even Dean has that moment. Like, turns out it's him.
Yeah.
And the whole plot is that the gang, everyone has to stay in the house. It's the classic, like, whoever stays in the house all night gets the will.
Which, like, I
And
want to
one
put that in my
thing-
will. And they have a great moment where Sam's like, that's not a real thing. No one does that. And Velma's like, people do it all the time.
in our world, it happens all the
You
time.
can't pass
It's
money
a
down to someone without them spending 24 hours in your house.
it's a wonderful community episode too. One of my favorite community episodes, which is the 8-bit episode. Well, there's actually 2. Anyway, getting off topic. The house is haunted. Look, you all know where this is going. The house is haunted. And it's haunted by a ghost. And unlike in the original Scooby-Doo episode, where it really is Cosgood Creeps and his associate's name, I forget his first name, but his last name is Crawls. It's Creeps and Crawls. They're the ones behind it. I think that's the lawyer, or Cosgood Creeps is the lawyer, and then Crawls is the butler. Anyway.
Right.
Yes. And so it's not them. It's actually some sort of ghost or something from the boys' world, from supernatural world. It's actually something supernatural that is going on and is taking over this cartoon. Because when we get to the first murder, which in Scooby episode is not a murder, is really just like a kidnapping. It's actually a murder.
It's a
and
dummy
like the
body in
Scooby Gang,
Scooby World, but in
Yes.
their ScoobyNatural, it's like really a mutilated, gross body.
with blood and everything, and like Velma realizes it and like starts to kind of like freak out, and then Sam and Dean the whole time are trying to protect the gang's innocence. They're trying to say like, don't tell them they're in a cartoon, don't tell them that this stuff is real, everything's got to be wires, everything's got to be, you know, real estate developers
Christmas
and
lights
masks
and string.
Yeah, Christmas lights and string, right, and fishing line. That's what it all got to be. So they're really trying to protect their innocence. They're really trying to keep them unaware that they're in the show. And like, yeah, so many reasons the boys really need to just stop every once in a while and think like, what's really going on? But they just get so excited.
Well, and also they like he says, you know, last time they were stuck in a TV show, they had to play their parts.
Yes, they do. Yeah, Dean references changing channels and says like, maybe we just need to play our part. So Sam like, okay, goes along with it. While then Dean always hitting on Daphne, always digging at Fred. Velma's got the hots for Sam. Once this first murder happens, all of a sudden they realize they got to figure it out. So Fred, of course, suggests that everybody split up. Classic Fred. Classic Scooby-Doo. Like just so many good things.
Yeah, it really
And
follows
they split
the episode trope bit by bit.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Castiel joins at some point during all this. I think it's after the first body.
Yeah, we see him come
Or
into the bunker with fruit from the tree of life and then get sucked into the TV.
And he gets zapped in. So he kind of explains that to the boys once he gets there, and they're like, it's Castiel. I also love the line. We solve mysteries. We don't have a talking dog. Castiel's kind of like a talking dog. Oh, great, wonderful. And of course, that's who. When they all split up, they split into the groups of Velma and Dean, or sorry, Velma and Sam, and then
Dean and Daphne and Fred.
And Daphne and Fred, and then of course Cass, Shaggy, and Scooby.
And he has that great line, like
yes. I once led armies of angels, and now I'm here with a dog and a Philistine.
Yeah, it's great.
That may be one of the best single lines of Supernatural just ever. I love it every time. It's so good.
And so
all right.
They find more. Like they find a body that's so mutilated that like Dean is like gagging, and the Scooby Gang is all just like, "Whoa, boy, oopsie doopsie."
Whoopsie. Do they just leave? Do they just always walk away from dead bodies?
Yeah, it's like they're being protected by their innocence, and it's shielding them from like understanding the reality of what they're seeing.
Yes, but it is starting to like slowly creep into them that maybe this is different. Things are a little different because then we finally get like the real interactions with our Phantom, And they are very real. And all of a sudden, like, they're running away. We have the best like music montage, running around music montage.
Yeah, from door to door.
They drew it up perfect. Yep, they just everything flawless, absolutely flawless about it. And like you get all the Dean hitting on Daphne throughout it too. Like, and they just so good. And the gang finally kind of like after that montage, and like we get the Shaggy.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, they do the what?
The trap, is that not yet?
That I don't think that's yet, because don't we first get Shaggy falling?
Breaks his arm, yeah.
Yes, which this scene is actually in the original episode. Is Shaggy and Scooby outside of the window? They were like chased by the ghost outside, and they like are wobbling back and forth. And I think actually Velma's out there with them too, or she tries to help them, and they end up pulling her down with them. So this is actually a legit scene from the movie. Is them out there, and yeah, so Shaggy falls and breaks his arm, and actually breaks his arm, and this is where you get those like all of a sudden the record scratch moment. And
existential crisis for the Scooby Gang.
Yep. So wait, we've been going after shady real estate developers. There's all these, and there's actually legitimate monsters. And they all start. The boys tell them the truth, give them the talk, and they all start losing it. And Dean's got to give them a pep talk to get them back.
And then they really jump in with both feet.
Yes.
And I love Daphne's line too, where she's like, "Wait a minute. If there's really ghosts, then that means there's an afterlife and there's a God. Am I going to hell?"
Yep. Which is so funny, because this show, it's like literally what Supernatural is trying to figure out too. So it's wonderful, the little self-reflexiveness there. So this is where then we create the plan to capture our Phantom, and at least Fred's plan at first, which is very convoluted.
It's very Rube Goldbergian.
Yes. It all is very much relies on one thing happening before the next. And of course it doesn't work, because Fred's plans never work. So Dean has a plan B, which involves getting the ghost down to the secret lair, which we didn't even talk about, but is like a thing.
The one book
that happens.
That's not painted into the background.
Yep, the one book that's not painted in the background, which in the Scooby episode, it's not a bookcase deal. I think it's just like a trap door sort of thing. I forget. It's a different device that gets them down into the basement, which is actually where all the people are kept. All the kidnapped people are kept down in the basement in the Scooby episode. And this one, it's just like where the Phantom's hanging.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess just where the Phantom's hanging out.
Is as surprised to be here as everyone else.
Yes, so then that's where once the Phantom is captured and the boys get them, actually lay out the plan, because that's where they drop the Phantom down into that basement where it's a salt circle and can't get out. And this is where we learn what the Phantom actually is. It's actually a ghost, a
little boy,
possessed item, a little boy who back in the real world, or in the boys' world, is possessing a knife, a pocket knife, and is being wielded by a shady real estate developer that we met in the first scene that we didn't really talk about, because it doesn't seem important at that point. Of course, it is, because it's ScoobyNatural and he's a real estate guy. But like, he's basically been using this boy ghost, to scare off all the people on the street so he can buy their property on the cheap.
Yeah,
that is the scheme, and so he's trying to do it with the pawn shop owner. The boys learn this from the little kid who's like just wants to go home or go see his family, not be a ghost anymore, essentially.
And it's really sad when he's like, "I just get so mad and I don't know what happens, but I don't want to do this anymore." It's like, oh, it really is quite sad.
It's heartbreaking, yeah. And the boys say, "Fine, we will fix this. Just can you get us back to our world and we will do it. Do the thing." So it all seems well, and then Dean and Sam realize we can't leave the Scooby Gang like this. So they ask the boy if he can pretend to be Cosgood creeps, and he does. The Scooby Gang has their innocence restored.
Yay.
And woohoo!
And he's like, "You're right. It was just mannequins and corn syrup.
Yep, it's just Christmas lights and fishing line. That's all it was. And Shaggy's arm wasn't really broken. Cass heals it or whatever. I don't even know. Cass heals it, right? That has to be what happens. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, so the Scooby Gang is all good. Velma gets one last look and swoon with Sam and those shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Jinkies.
City. And then Dean has that gross line. Like, so many of Dean's lines to Daphne are gross, but like after Velma goes to Smooch City with Sam, he's like, "Oh, I should have known Velma was good to go. It's always the quiet ones." And I'm like, Dean, you're so gross.
Right? Yeah. But it is, at least they're staying true to the character and not we're changing them for the times. Because Dean would just keep saying that stuff probably. And all the Daphne lines are weird. Although I do love the line when he's like, "Hey, we should sleep bunk together, Daphne." Boys don't sleep with girls, silly.
They're so cute.
So the boys get back to their world and they go ahead and burn the pocket knife. They turn in the real estate developer for tax stuff and tell the pawn shop owner what's been going on.
Yep.
And all is well. And the best moment at the end, of course, is when the real estate developer says, "And I would have got away with it too if it weren't for those meddling
He said
kids."
the line. He said the line.
He said it. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Who are you talking to?
That part was so cute. He did such a good job.
Yes, he did. So that's ScoobyNatural in the nuttest of shells. I love it. It's the best.
It's a great
Forever
episode.
the best.
It's really fun. It's a perfect standalone. It's a perfect choice if you're like, we just are gonna pick out one random episode of Supernatural. I would put it in a top 10 list for sure.
Top 3 for me. Like I don't know if there are two other episodes I could say like with certainty are just this flawlessly executed and does justice to two shows. Like so often crossovers don't accomplish that. They just service one show or the other. They're either like complete odes to whatever show they're crossing over, or they're like, they're super self-serving and like, here's how our show is better, or so I just think
it's a real love letter to Scooby-Doo.
It is. And it's a love letter, and like we've modeled our show after so many different things in Scooby-Doo. It's like, here's what Scooby-Doo is meant to, not just our show, but pop culture and so many other different pieces of art and everything throughout the last 50 years or whatever, like is absolutely seminal. So the fact that we have this, that the world has this as just like a moment to recognize how great Scooby-Doo is. And I'm sure if you were to go back and watch every episode, you'd find some things that you probably wouldn't like, but
you definitely would.
It's still so good. You definitely would. It was made in the 60s. You definitely would. We watched the Scooby movie, the 2002 Scooby movie, the live action one recently too. So it was kind of interesting getting to watch that within the same time period as well. Matthew Lillard, who plays Shaggy in that, also does the voice of Shaggy in this Scooby episode, of course.
Because he's perfected.
He's really good. It's Casey Kasem is no longer around, so someone's got to do it. Matthew Lillard stepping up. And no Freddie Prinze Jr. or Buffy for the voices of Fred or Daphne, but Kate Micucci does the voice of Velma, who's obviously a wonderful comedian and musician. I thought that was interesting. I did not realize, but then like playing it back in my head, I'm like, oh, it's definitely Kate Micucci's voice.
Shoulders. So cute.
Jinkies.
So drinking counts. What did you get?
Yes.
Let's start. Should we start at the bottom and go to the top?
Okay, let's do that.
Ascot, I counted 3 because there's 3 like ascot pointing where they're really pointing at the ascot.
Yeah, I have 6 marked down here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was like every time Dean said something about the ascot. Maybe I counted the time at the end where Dean's wearing the ascot. You counted that one. I think maybe he says like, I don't know, maybe, or I just counted too many times. I don't know. Who knows? But 6 is my count. The big lug or shoulders / flirting from Daphne. I think, man, I wrote so many tallies.
I got 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I got 7.
Well, we're not that far off.
Yeah. 7. Perfect. All right, ghost we already talked about. We each had 2.
I had 2 where they say it, and then I counted 4 where they actually saw the ghost, where the real ghost actually appears, which is much be how I caught up to you on the ones where I missed out.
Yeah. What did you have written down for simultaneous exclamations? 2? Okay. Yes. I had 2, and then I added 3 catchphrases. Because like there's a moment where they each get their catchphrase.
Yeah.
I think you get Zoinks, you get Jinkies, whatever Fred and Daphne say, like oh my or something. I forget, but yeah, you get those catchphrases, and then I think Velma says Jinkies again at the very end. Snacking. How much you get
3.
for snacking? I got 3 too.
Perfect.
Cool. Dean takes a dig at Fred or hits on Daphne. How many did you get? 13. I only wrote down 8, so I probably for sure missed some.
I got 8 hit on Daphne,
Definitely, probably
5 dig on Fred.
I have 3 dig on Fred and 5 hit on Daphne, but again, I'm for sure I missed some.
Yeah, I was really tuned into that one.
Yeah, I bet. Zaps?
I only got 1.
You got 1. I think I'm counting 3 because when the boys go into the TV, when Cass goes into the TV, and then when they all go out of the TV.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I always miss the outgoing.
The out Zaps, just like in French Connection, the outgoing
angels. That's what I missed every time.
Angels, yep. Dean moment or Sammy Scout. I had 5 Dean face moments and 8 Sammy Scout.
And I didn't have anything for that because I wrote it down above the line I drew, so I completely forgot about that one. I didn't do it at all.
Well, there you go. I had 5 like Dean, like just kind of like fanboy. I think I just mostly went with like fanboy moments, and I think maybe like at the beginning when he wants the TV, and then Sammy Scowl, which is like just could be the whole episode, frankly.
Yeah.
And then of course our shots, Barney bye bye. So when our fluffy dinosaur goes away at the end, Fred, which is kind of like still towards the beginning ish of the episode, but in the middle, and then the bleep.
It's so funny.
The bleep.
He says like fucking A right or something to Fred, and it gets bleeped.
Yeah.
Just so it was such a good moment, and it's like probably the best.
It's a good validation moment. Yeah. It's a good validation moment. So yeah, that is ScoobyNatural. That is the drinking game that we came up with. I think it'll do a decent job of getting you messed up.
Yeah. Speaking of getting messed up, next episode we are going to do season 11, episode 4, Baby.
Ooh, dang.
And here are the drinking game rules, so you can play along before the next episode. And of course, as always, we say this every time, but you can always just listen to the drinking game rules, pause it, watch the episode, or drink along with the recap even if you want. But here's our baby drinking game rules.
Baby.
Anytime they mention the darkness, because we are in season 11, the darkness.
Mm-hmm. I'm leaving nothing going on.
Listen to the rhythm of my heart.
And
pop
that's all we
culture
can sing because we don't have the
references.
rights.
And as usual, double if Cass doesn't get it. Take a drink anytime we are inside of Baby alone, looking out at the world. So there's no one in Baby with us.
Okay, there's no one in Baby.
And we're just looking out at the world.
I will do Baby solo shot.
Take a drink anytime they mention a monster by name, which I'm putting together with anytime they mention a werepire, take a sip. So when they're like, oh, that time we fought that Wendigo, take a drink. But anytime they mention the werepires, take a sip.
Okay.
Take a drink whenever there's a traumatic brain injury, bringing that one back. I'm doing the Sammy rule. So anytime someone calls Sam by any name other than Sam, meaning Sammy or Samuel, you scream, Sammy! And take a big drink. And then our shot.
If it's Samuel, do you just go Samuel and take a real
really solemn sad
sip?
one. Yeah. And then there are 2 shots. One is when we're working on our night moves.
Oh my god. That scene, I love it so much. And like anytime I hear that song, that's all I think about
moves.
is that scene and them in the car singing it. And then we can talk about what that song is when we get to it, because I have lots of thoughts about
And
that
I don't
song.
know what you're talking about at all. So it sounds great to me. And then the second shot is when since when has being dead ever stopped a Winchester? When that line happens, you take a shot. Okay. Well, and that is today's episode of Gank That Drank. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to get some bonus content, get a little bit extra with Nate and Krissy and the Gank That Drank podcast, become a member and you get all the fun bonusy stuff. And where can people support Nate and Krissy in real life, Nate?
They can support us at the Neighborhood Comedy Theater, which is located at 214 West Main Street in downtown Mesa, Arizona. Shows are on Fridays at 7:30 and Saturdays at 7:30 and 9:45.
So when you're out there in the world saving people and hunting things, the family business, do keep your lessons learned in mind. What are they, Nate?
Don't ever read newspaper without words.
And
That's the only
never
lesson
trust
you
a
need
real
from
estate
this one.
developer.
And never trust real estate developers.
And be excellent to each other. And party on, dude.
Party on, dudes.